The Son, a new Hugh Jackman film that is now premiering in theaters. I haven't seen a Hugh Jackman film in quite a while, but how did I feel about this film? Well, stick around and find out my thoughts next. Peter has his busy life with new partner Beth and their baby thrown into disarray when his ex-wife Kate turns up with their teenage son, Nicholas. The film stars Vanessa Kirby, Hugh Jackman, Anthony Hopkins, Laura Dern, and Zen McGrath, and was directed by Florian Zeller, who has done the film The Father. The Son was another film that I really didn't know too much about. I knew what the subject matter was, and I did see a teaser trailer going to this film. Again, I have quite a bit of theaters between both towns that I live in between, and only one theater was playing this film, so I did a back-to-back feature of watching this film and also Alice Darling. There are only two other people in my theater, so not a lot of people were checking this film out on a Friday night. I did see the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I believe this has a score of about 27%, so I really was just hoping that this film was at least half decent because I really wasn't expecting any Oscar performances or anything like that. I have seen The Father before, and a lot of people really love that movie. I like that movie, but I wasn't really in love with that movie like a lot of other people were. So I was just hoping with going off that, this film would be at least half decent and I would enjoy the film. I do like the subject matter. It tackles depression. So you have Nicholas. He lives with his mother, played by Laura Dern. You know her from Jurassic Park. And she goes and approaches Hugh Jackman and says, hey, look, your son is depressed. He's skipping school. Can you help out? Meanwhile, Hugh Jackman, he is a lawyer and he's married to Vanessa Kirby and he has a child as well with her. It tackles these rich kind of parents that really don't know how to handle depression. It's kind of a hard subject to really grasp upon because I do have a relation to this subject. When I was 21 years old, my parents divorced as well, and I can definitely feel that depression that Nicholas feels in here because you kind of feel like you're responsible for something that big really happening in life. So I really could feel with his character and what he was going through. But at the same time, I didn't really feel as the film keeps going on that we really get too much of a sense of really what is bothering him. He will go to school and then he will not go to school, but we don't see like him getting bullied or anything like that unless it just happens behind the scenes and we're just never told. And I think that's what I had a problem with this story because we get a little bit of a glimpse as to why he's depressed. He doesn't like the fact that his parents are split up, but we don't get a big deep inside kind of in the mind as to why he's feeling this way. I do understand that in this film that his parents, they may not always be paying attention to him to the fullest. And I think that kind of goes without saying that a lot of parents just don't know how to deal with a child's depression. They may go to a doctor, they may be prescribed something, but that may not always help. And a lot of times you just have to sit down and listen to your kids. And I think that's where Hugh Jackman's character doesn't do a really good job of really getting under his skin of his kid. He thinks he's doing well. His kid lies to him, says he's going to go to parties and hang out with girls. And he gets a false kind of perception of what his son is actually going through. A lot of the scenes can really feel repetitive as well. It's a 2-hour movie that feels a little bit too long for the subject matter. And I really wasn't that thrilled with Zen McGrath's performance here. Him playing Nicholas, there were parts in this film where I really thought that he was really tanking the performance. There's one scene where he is at a actual medical office and he flips out, and it was just a really over-the-top scene that lasts too long. And I think that is part of the problem with this film. There are a lot of scenes that last a little bit too long, and I feel like we never really get that glimpse inside this kid's head, and he just keeps doing things that are off the wall. We know that he cuts himself. We know that he's having a lot of trouble just kind of grasping life in general. We know that he likes to write, which is something really positive. We do see a moment where the father does bond with him and he teaches him how to dance, which was really cool, but we don't get a lot of those happy moments. The film, it's very sad, it's very melancholy throughout, and it's really hard to really kind of get into a film that's so depressing, but at the same time kind of regurgitates a lot of the same scenes throughout. And it's just kind of a run-of-the-mill thing where you just keep seeing the same thing, rinse and repeat, and it just goes on too long. And I think the subject matter it just doesn't really feel fleshed out enough. It's something that's introduced. We get to see how the parents don't really know how to deal with this depression, and I just don't feel like the movie has any more substance to really give. And I really felt as the film is wrapping up and we get to see what happens with this ending, I really knew what was coming. And once we get to see what is coming and what's to come after those events, you really feel walking out of this film like you just didn't get enough. You feel really sad. You feel like, there's more things that we should be doing, and parents, they should be, actually paying attention to their kids and paying attention to their thoughts and feelings and what's going on with them and talking to their children. And I think that's the biggest message that I got out of this film. Laura Dern's character, she is the mother here. I don't really feel like she had a lot to do, and she was a little bit wasted at points. I thought they could have involved her more. This is more so Hugh Jackman's character, and then Vanessa Kirby and her effect on the fact that she's married to Hugh Jackman. And you can really tell throughout this film that Nicholas really doesn't like this new wife around. He's really jealous that he has another baby and has a new life, and it really ticks him off. You can really see that throughout this film. And then as far as Anthony Hopkins, because he is in the cast here, he has one scene which is probably one of the more powerful scenes. He does a really good job in that scene. But I feel like Anthony Hopkins lately, he's like the new Morgan Freeman. He appears in all these different movies. But for me, really kind of sizing up this film and really kind of taking it all in and all the performances and all such, I really can only give a score of this film a 2 out of 5. It's very meh. I think it's too long. I think it's a subject matter that's really important, but I think that the performance here by Nicholas Zen McGrath, I just don't think it's powerful enough. I don't think it's a performance that I've really bought into throughout the film. Hugh Jackman, his performance is all right. I've seen him do better roles. Laura Dern, she does what she can here. Vanessa Kirby, she does what she can here as well and plays what she's supposed to play. But really, there wasn't anything that I was really gushing about with this film, and it just felt really meh at the end of the day. But thank you guys for watching this review. Let me know in the comments, did you like this film? Did you hate it? Are you going to check it out on streaming? Is it something you're going to check out in the theater? Let me know. Thank you guys for checking out this review, and I will see you guys on my next review.